This is the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Greetings, John Solberg here, your host for the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Happy to tell you, today's episode is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop, purveyors of highly sought after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara 9 Plus briskets, and as always, they are handpicked just for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years. Every week, they ship out competition quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams who use the Butcher Shop win, and they win often. You may not be a competitor, but I know you still have an eye for the finer cuts. Great news, the Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged, Australian Wagyu, and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of their cul-de-sac. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock, and again, always handpicked just for you. You might be saying, John, all that sounds great, but what about something exotic? Rest easy. The Butcher Shop will get you an elk steak, camel roast, something else. They're going to get it, handpick it, and ship it out promptly. So let's review. The best competition briskets? Check. The best pork selection? Check. Giving you better overall options to cook at home? Check. So give the Butcher Shop a call today, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. You mention the Barbecue Central show, they're going to give you 10% off your entire order each and every single time you call. You can also interact with them on their Facebook page, facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara 9 Plus briskets. And now let's jump back to 2012. Greg's going to do a little roundtable review of 2012.
All right, we are back. Yeah! 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are two ways to get in touch. We're in the last week of 2012, so thought it would be fun to have a look back at the year that was in barbecue grilling industry. Here to help me do that, famed blogger of the current editor, grilling.com website, Clint Cantwell, also joining me, host of Whiskey Bent BBQ in the Pit, and the pitmaster of Whiskey Bent BBQ competition cooking team, Chad Ward, and helping me round out the panel is the pitmaster of Draper's Barbecue team and the creator and purveyor of Draper's Barbecue products, Shane Draper. So we go ahead and race over to the hotline and welcome everybody in. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me. It's actually right now just Chad and Shane. I believe I'm still waiting on Clint to call me because he could not figure out how to actually use Skype for whatever reason. Here we go, and we're going to add this call to the conference, and we should be all set. All right, boys, so thanks for everybody. Just sound out really quick. Chad, you're in?
I'm here.
Shane, you're in?
I'm here.
And Clint, you're in. Clint. Uh-oh. All right, that's not Clint. Okay. Hold on one second here, gents. How do I get... Oh, am I really going to have to do this? All right, guys, hold on one second. Ringing in now. Got to find his number, make sure he's... Yeah, that was him. Clint, you're not there? All right, Clint, hang up and... Oh. Okay, let's try. Let's add another one into the conference. Add to conference. Clint, you there?
Hey.
Clint.
I am here, buddy.
Hey, all right, there we go. We're all set. Gents, before we get into this year in review stuff, let's start by the obvious question. Best Christmas present that you got yesterday. We'll start with Chad Ward.
Probably 60-inch TV for the living room. Brand new one. Worked out nice.
60 inches.
Yes.
That's what she said. Hey-yo. Shane, best Christmas present yesterday.
I just want to remind Chad, it's all about the girth. It's all about girth, man.
Oh. You don't need to remind Chad about that.
That's right. For me, it was a watch and some stuff. We kept it pretty low key and kept it about the kids this year.
All right, kids. And Clint, best Christmas present yesterday?
Oh, I got a couple bags of charcoal, which I appreciate very much. That's about it. That's all I got was charcoal.
No hickory fused propane?
We're not allowed to discuss that just yet.
Sorry about that. Well, guys, my favorite gift was the fact that we didn't die on December 21st. No one cared about that?
Yeah.
Weirdos. All right, let's press in and let's get going with some, I didn't want to sketch a whole outline out to you guys because I still like to maintain some type of off the cuff type of a deal, but I did want to give you an idea of some topics so you would at least lay some groundwork. So if anybody has opening rants or things that just really either pissed you off or hit you the right way during the course of 2012 when it comes to barbecue and grilling, let me go to Clint first. Clint, is there anything that you want to kind of rant on tonight before we get started?
No, I mean, it's been an amazing year. My house is still a mess, having moved down to Memphis this year, but things have been really cool. Got to hang out with all of my barbecue friends at almost every one of the biggest contests out there this year, and even bigger stuff coming next year. So,
Shane.
So that's all I got to say, brother man.
Shane, you want to rant on anything tonight?
If I had to pick a rant, maybe it'd be meat prices. What the hell's going on there? Some days, it's so up and down. But other than that, it was overall a pretty good year. We had some crazy stuff go on, personal life-wise, but other than that, I'm like Clint. It was overall a good year. We released some new products that did great in competition and on the market. So, man, it's one of those that we survived, and we ain't complaining.
Chad, anything you want to rant or burn on tonight?
Actually, can I go positive rant for a second?
Yeah, I said, either positive or negative. Just let it fly.
I think it's pretty cool this year how far Operation Barbecue Relief has come. And that's just kind of, I knew a little bit about it, last year towards the middle of the year, end of the year. But what those guys are doing, especially with, Hurricane Sandy just happening and some of those things, I think it's kind of interesting as you look at them as an organization, how cool it is about what they do in those times of crisis, but also what a good light it sheds on us barbecue community folks.
Absolutely. Chad Ward joining us here on the show. Also Shane Draper and Clint Cantwell, respectively. Whiskey Bent BBQ, either in the pit or the competition team. Shane Draper from Shane Draper's Products, and then Clint Cantwell, editor of grilling.com, and also the blogger of Smoke in the Eye. All right, so let's go ahead and start off vague. We'll work a little bit more specific during the next segment and a half or so, gentlemen. And we'll start with Shane. Biggest surprise of 2012 for either Shane or just something that and again, this could be either you personally or, because you guys, I asked you guys here because you obviously follow a lot about barbecue and grilling in general. So it can also be a summatory response of the industry itself. The biggest surprise of 2012.
This kind of would go along with the opening rant thing. I think the meat prices rocked a few people on their heels. It, catering and cooking barbecue, it's made it a little tougher to cut a little bit of profit. But, you do what you can. You make some changes to how you do things, and you soldier on. There's no crying in barbecue. I guess, on the same token, I can't believe the biggest surprise for me is how commercialized barbecue got in for me personally, and just looking around the industry. Holy cow, everybody was talking barbecue. Everybody was about it. It was all over TV. Everybody who's anybody, all of a sudden had their face on a bottle of sauce, and I just can't believe how fast the industry just kind of blew open.
Do you think it's in a good way or a bad way, or just floodgates are open and we're still ciphering what's good and bad?
Yeah, I think like anything, you're going to have those diehards who are going to say it's bad because it's too much of the wrong thing. Like, Weber's line of sauces, when you got to put stuff on your label like real molasses, well, what the hell else would be in there? It's fake molasses, of course. But, so that's the negative side of things. But you get some pretty cool positives, a lot more mom and pop bottlers out there that have come public and are doing things the right way, and that's not a bad thing. But, you know, with anything this big, you're going to have a lot of positive and a lot of negative, and you just got to decide what hose you're going to drink from and stick with it. Clint, biggest surprise of 2012 in your eyes?
Oh, man, that's got to be the fact that you are a gambling machine, Greg Rempe.
You damn right I am. I can go through $40 in 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's quite impressive to watch.
Oh, yeah. Not in a good way either.
And no. You and I had a great time there during the Kingsford Invitational, and I got to introduce you to the world of gambling, even made a couple of dollars myself. And, yeah, I mean, that whole contest was a blast, and hopefully we're going to see some more people there next year.
Chad, round out the question here. Biggest surprise of 2012 for you?
To me is, you know, everybody talks about, you know, obviously the economy being down, but I want to say every repeat year contest that I went to had more teams than the year before. So I think it leads a little bit to what Shane's saying about kind of more of the commercialization, more of the mainstream of barbecue. But it shows that, you know, even in tight times, people are willing to part with $700 to $1,000 to go out and cook a contest for a weekend, which I think, you know, speaks high of what we got going on in the community.
Well, I think potentially too there, Chad, let me add on that just for a second. You know, If you have a downturn in an economy, you hear it, and I think from a lot of points through news, through spending habits, through the amount of money that was even spent during the holiday season, you know, while there seems to be some type of fear in the economy, people are still spending it. But perhaps because of the continued downturn that we're always told that we're in, people were now specifying that $1,000, or maybe they had $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 extra dollars before, so they would not only do the contest, they would also go on vacation, and then they would buy another grill or cooker. But this really decided to them to say, hey, we're going to make that decision, and these expendable dollars that we have, not as great as they were in years past, but we're still going to put them into barbecue instead.
Sure. Good point.
All right, good point for me. Biggest surprise for me, 2012, was actually being invited to that Kingsford invitation. I know, very self-serving. But it was nice to, meet everybody that I've really had on the show a number of times, and see a lot of these, see 8 teams compete that had won 8 of the biggest competitions during the course of the year. So for me, that was probably the biggest surprise, was getting the invite to go down and kind of to take part in that. Next question, biggest disappointment of 2012. Chad, we'll go with you.
Ooh, there's a little ASMR audio mixed in there for you. If you know, you know. If you don't know, shoot me an email. John, John at thebbqcentralshow.com. We'll talk about it. And in the meantime, head over to thebbqcentralshow.com. Check out the rest of this show. There's a link in today's show notes. It's going to take you to the complete episode. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.